I've had a few people since I announced my pregnancy yet again. I feel like I'm making a lot of pregnancy videos in this shirt. Um, well, since I have announced my pregnancy, I've had some people who have watched my videos talking about, my eating disorder and my food addiction, who have asked me questions relating to that and how I feel that could affect me, or if I feel that it would affect me. So I felt like I would address that in a video since I'm getting so many people asking pretty much the same questions when it comes to that. And first of all, my answer is yes, I do feel that it affects me at least mentally, hopefully not physically. Along with my eating disorder, I do have a, body dysmorphic disorder, as far as regardless of how much weight I have lost, which is almost 40 pounds at this point, I still feel like I am super morbidly obese. Like, I watch shows like My 600-Pound Life and things like that, where I see these people who are so big that they can't even get out of bed. And sometimes I feel like I am that big. That's just my body dysmorphia, just being out of control and ridiculous. Because obviously I know I'm not that big, where I'm totally reliant on people. And I know, I've talked to my boyfriend about this, and he even said that he would not allow me to get to that point because he's not going to be sitting there and having to do all of those things for me just because I, you know, wanted to eat and eat and eat myself to that position. Now, obviously, he said it would be different if I was to become disabled in some way or was just that sick. But as far as, eating myself to that point, I would never get there. Um, it's ridiculous that I have to sit here and deal with body dysmorphia. But I feel like part of the bullying that I went through as a kid and just, all of that has to, or kind of plays a part in some of the reasons why I feel the way that I do. Um, as far as being pregnant, I'm worried that one, being pregnant, obviously most people when they're pregnant, they gain weight. Um, I feel like now that I'm pregnant, I'm scared that I'm going to like reverse all of the weight loss progress that I've made and that I'm going to end up even bigger than I was before. I'm really paranoid about that. So that's been something that I've been really struggling with. Even in, it hasn't even been a week since I found out that I was pregnant. And I've really been struggling with that ever since. Like maybe the next day is when that really hit me, where I started becoming worried about that. As far as my bulimia goes, because that is one of the eating disorders that I have, I haven't really engaged in those types of behaviors, the bulimic behaviors. I haven't engaged in those behaviors in years. The last time that I did that was when I was still with my ex-husband, and that was back in 2012, something like that. So it's been a while as far as that. I don't think I really have to worry about engaging in bulimic behaviors just because I feel like I have dealt with my emotions to the point where I don't necessarily feel the urge to engage in those behaviors like I did before, but it still scares me, because as someone with an eating disorder, you know that there's a possibility that you could always go back to that. I don't see a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a therapist or anything, to help me deal with that. I just basically deal with it on my own. I could see someone about it because, my insurance does cover that, but they only cover like 7 sessions per year. So it would kind of be ridiculous for me to even try, especially because just my family history and all of that. It would make things difficult because I know a lot of therapists that I've talked to in the past, they've had kind of an issue just kind of understanding my family dynamic as far as, being adopted and having half brothers and half sisters and, stepsisters and stepbrothers and all of that, it adds just a level of confusion where people have more difficulty kind of accepting how my life is and understanding the way that things go. So I feel like me seeing a therapist to talk about my eating disorder at this point is kind of not possible. It doesn't really make sense for me at this point. I do feel like I have things much more under control now than I did in the past. Um, I am afraid to get back to the point where I was, which does scare me because obviously, like I said, with pregnancy, you gain weight, and I'm afraid to get back to that point. And I'm afraid that if I gain weight, either now or in the future, that I will gain more weight and be at a higher weight than I was when before I started trying to lose weight this last time. I don't ever want to get back to where I was before. I would prefer to continue to lose weight, but I know that, it's probably not going to happen that way. Um, I just really feel like I have to be careful with it, especially, knowing how dangerous eating disorders can be and knowing the way that my body dysmorphia basically just screws with my mind. I just really feel like I have to be careful. So, am I worried about, being pregnant and having an eating disorder? Yes. Do I feel like it's going to affect me to the point where it affected me in the past? No. But I'm definitely experiencing paranoia as far as, you know, reversing my weight loss and, having my body dysmorphia just affect me even more than it did, when I was actively engaging in eating disorder activities. Um, but I hope that answers your question to the people who asked. If there's anything else that you would like me to talk about regarding my pregnancy or my eating disorder or just anything in general, feel free to let me know and I'd be glad to make a video on it, on your suggested topic. And I will see you guys again soon.